Now, I've never been a huge fan of horses, to be honest. They're a little bit too unpredictable to be that big and powerful. I don't know how people can trust them not to break their bones, which, to be fair, seems to be a pretty common thing too. But yeah, that's just me, and it doesn't stop me from watching movies about horses. In fact, this is at least the third movie about horses I've seen in the last year. And guess what? They've all been pretty good. Including this one, which is about a horse training program they apparently have in some US prisons, and about an inmate who's been behind bars for quite some time. He's then transferred to a new facility and ends up working in the horse training program. Now it very quickly becomes abundantly clear that this guy has got some things in common with these wild Mustangs, especially with one of them, and he sort of finds a kindred spirit in it. It's also pretty clear that the horse is a metaphor for him and his issues. They're both defiant, stubborn, and don't do well with other people. But hey, maybe they can help each other out. Help each other work out their issues. And that's sort of the gist of the movie, about this guy who's been in prison for a long time. And about his self-reflection and his path to self-improvement. About him trying to overcome his flaws and become a better person. There's nothing all that complicated going on here as far as the story goes. But it's a good story nonetheless. I liked it quite a bit. It definitely worked. It even managed to get to me emotionally a couple of times, which I did not see coming. There's especially this one scene where the main guy just hits it out of the park. Matthias Schoenaerts, I think his name is, and I've seen him in a bunch of things before. He's one of those guys who always shows up, but never really stood out. Well, in this he does, and he does an absolutely fantastic job. But the supporting cast is great too, like Jason Mitchell, who plays another inmate. He sort of brings the levity and the humor into it, and I couldn't help but to smile every time he shows up. And then we have Bruce Dern, who's just this grumpy old man who runs the horse training program. And he's great too, and overall I can't complain about the acting. In fact, I can't really complain about much in this movie at all. It's just a fairly simple movie that's very subtle and understated. Even the violence and the tension, and there's a little bit of that, is very understated and not something that ever tries to take the spotlight. Because the movie is not about that, it's about this guy and his internal struggles. And about the horse that's helping him get to where he needs to be, mentally. And about a man who's just trying to do better and make the best of a terrible situation, after years of apparently wallowing in hate and anger and whatever else he might be feeling. He's had enough of that and decides there's another path he can take. It's not an easy path and there are obstacles in the way, but it's there. And from a technical perspective, it's a well-made movie. Maybe not amazing, but the writing is really solid, and everything else is good too. I can't really find that many issues with it, even small ones. I mean, I guess there was one part of the prison drama I could have done without, but that also added some tension and raised the stakes, so that wasn't really a problem either. The movie is even well paced too and doesn't drag. It's just a really solid movie with a good story, great main performance, fun supporting cast. And as I said, it hit the right buttons and got to me emotionally too. And that's about it, so would I recommend it? Yeah, I think it's definitely worth checking out. So maybe give it a look, maybe don't. I'm not your dad. But I am trying to sell out, so consider liking, subbing, hitting that bell and supporting me on Patreon. Because I really need to get myself a horse and some riding lessons. And hey, why not drop a comment below or check out another review? I'd appreciate it. Thanks.